But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Welcome to the World Blockchain Roundtable. I am the host today. I am, aka William. And this is episode number 258, 258 weeks of the World Blockchain Roundtable. And guess what? It is a DAO-based program, a DAO-based podcast, a DAO-based video stream. And we are live. And joining us is Lisa Mighty Davis. Good morning. Good morning. So glad you're here, Lisa. I want to hear your insights.
My Legacy Right shirt on today. So,
cha-ching. Nice. Well, speaking of the Legacy Right, battling it from the right and the left is Zach and Andrew. Welcome.
Drinking my coffee.
Hey.
Oh, Andrew. Uh-oh. Look out.
That's all that matters.
Well,
good morning, everyone.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Or afternoon or evening or wherever you're at.
Well, the topic today is, can blockchain keep AI honest? Is artificial intelligence got an honesty problem, a trustworthy problem? I don't know.
I think it's got a hallucination problem.
Right? And where did they get their data to come up with their answers?
Rock has a hallucination problem.
What? Nah, can't be true. I believe in AI and I believe in our government. Prove me wrong. I guess that's what we'll talk about today. And also, so we'll cover this topic, can blockchain keep AI honest? And then we will move on to current events. I'm also hoping that Sean will, get our message telepathically. Wake up.
I think he did say he would join us.
Good.
Yeah, he said he's on his way.
Yeah.
And Greg.
I miss Greg. I really need his insight. Greg, where are they? Show us.
I did send him the link, so we'll find out if he shows up.
Nice. Joe is unable to attend today. I did ask him to see what he could do to rearrange his calendar because in 2 weeks, we're at episode 260, 260 weeks. That's 5 years of World Blockchain Roundtable. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
It is pretty wild.
Yeah. It started out as a meetup and turned into a podcast. And in 2 weeks, we will be celebrating episode 260. That's crazy. So,
right.
Speaking of, let's see here. Why isn't this showing? I wanted to bring up this stage. There we go. We have a little bit of news for the day. First of all, by the way, if last week's show was really good, and it was we talked about blockchain technology and software, and people could ask questions, and each host last week received 111 lot their ownership tokens, and each topic contributor received 41 lot. And remember, those tokens provide perpetual passive income, free edits, and governance votes on the World Blockchain Roundtable, because this is a DAO-based podcast. But so I encourage everyone to go back and watch that. That was a good episode. We also touched on, of course, current events and sometimes that's my favorite segment. But this week again is, can blockchain keep AI honest? Before we jump into that, there is one other item I'd like to bring up is this is for the month of May. Top vote was, is crypto blockchain dead? The future of DAOs and chat questions only from blockchain events. So those are going to be our 3 weeks. And then we're going to dedicate, I think,
one to the anniversary or whatever.
Anniversary.
Okay, that's great.
So I think that's a good way to handle the month of May. Tomorrow is May Day. Can you believe that?
Oh gosh. Ooh, so the FISA is it got pushed back from the 20th to the 30th. So and I've not heard a new decision on it, but I believe it's the end of FISA today.
Do you really believe that? Do you think? I think it's going to pass. They'll get it in.
Maybe
They need to.
change
They want to be Big Brother and watch us. Yeah.
Only thing I care about is May. Tomorrow starts the month of Mary. Mary and devotion.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, for May.
She points to Jesus. Embrace her, everybody.
So it's not May Day like Communist Day?
Is that a communist? Is it? Probably.
Yeah, May Day, right?
May Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We'll see.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, tomorrow
I mean,
a good day to be in North Korea for all those big beautiful parades. Man, what am I doing here?
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Just remember, 1917, she showed up and she predicted Russia was going to take over and consume the world with communism. If we don't,
that's interesting. Because Edgar Casey predicted that Russia would save the world.
Fatima, Russia needs to be consecrated. She has not. She has yet to be fully consecrated to the Lord through Mary.
I thought that's what Trump was doing for America on May 17th. Rededicating America to God.
On May 17th?
Mm-hmm.
To which God? God of Abraham?
The God of Donald Trump.
I only know of one, so.
Central Bank.
The God of the Rothschilds.
God. Oh my goodness. Por favor, Andrew. Por favor. Please.
May 17th, that's when the is that where the new term of the Federal Reserve Chair begins?
I think he's confirmed on the 15th, I believe.
And his swearing will be the 17th.
Trump is consecrating to, I don't know the guy's name. He's kind of weird.
Well, let's move on to let's make this more of an honest conversation rather than politics. We can save that for later. Let's move into honesty, integrity, and can blockchain keep AI honest? How's that sound, everybody?
Sounds good.
Here's a better question. Can blockchain keep AI honest so that we can go into a theocracy?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if we want theocracy. Our founding fathers didn't.
I'm too old for theocracy.
We got this one, and it's got a warning, abusive. And I'm going to click on it live and let us all look at this question behind.
It's goofy.
But before we do that, if you don't mind, I would like to go over this preface. How would you like to pronounce it? Anyway, on this whole question, this whole theme today, I posted this for us, and to try to set the stage, if you will. But it's up to the panelists how they want to handle and answer each question. But this will kind of maybe give us a foundation of what this week's theme here on World Blockchain Roundtable is all about. It says, AI systems are getting incredibly powerful, but they are also notorious for being black boxes. They can hallucinate facts, embed hidden biases, be manipulated by bad actors, or even deliberately deceive users. Stating so. Once an AI is deployed, it's hard to prove where its training data came from, whether its outputs have been altered or it's behaving as promised. Blockchain, on the other hand, dun, 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 or to the rescue, is a decentralized, or can be, immutable, sometimes is, most of the time is, tamper-proof ledger that anyone can verify. The big idea we're exploring is whether blockchain tools, data provenance tracking, smart contracts, decentralized verification,
What are you doing?
and
I'm
token
live.
incentives can finally give AI the transparency and accountability it currently lacks. In short, can crypto's trustless technology force AI to play fair, or is it just hype? I thought that was, and we have another panelist here.
Yes.
Cat,
Zach's
for those
thinking-
who can't see the screen, this cat
Ratings.
seems
This is ratings.
Zach. That's for ratings.
It's
Blockchain roundtable host.
cat demolition.
My hat. Yeah.
Zach, what's the name of your cat?
This is Julia Lucille. My cats have
Julia
middle names.
Lucille.
Yeah, named
Well,
after
welcome.
named after my oldest niece and Lucille Ball.
Aw.
Nice. Wow. She certainly loves you, and she loves the World Blockchain Roundtable, obviously.
I think she just wants to she just wants to photobomb.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
Yep.
Purr.
All right. So Kif's Crypto's got this question here. It's warning tagged as abusive. So I'm going to roll the dice here, right here, live
Does
on
that
screen.
affect his? I have a question, Emperor. Does that affect his reputation score on Den, or if you post something that has that's labeled abusive, does it affect your points or your energy or anything?
Good question.
She's
Well,
back.
There's a couple of tags that do this. The other one, these are like master tags, or they're tagged. We call them smart tags.
What are you
That tag the
doing?
entire system, so that no matter who logs in, it will blur it if it's labeled abusive or if it's labeled not safe for work. And what happens is when someone tags something, it really doesn't go to a judge or jury to be verified if it's abusive or not, or not safe for work. It just automatically blurs it.
Okay.
And if a consensus is made where it was erroneously tagged as abusive or not safe for work, and there's a consensus reached by the users that says, no, this isn't abusive, and they untag it appropriately, then the posting is no longer blurred out. So if you yourself tag something as abusive or not safe for work, and consensus is met that you inappropriately tagged it, then you don't receive the matter for that tagging.
We're doing the tag. Okay.
Matter. Right. So as a reputational score, you could say in a way it does affect your reputation on the site, only that you're getting you're being overturned.
Yeah. So your weight, then when you go to vote or whatever, you didn't gain that weight for doing
That's
that.
correct.
Okay. Makes
Now,
sense.
what we want to do is we want to add the enhancement of adding reputation to that, so that if someone were to continuously tag things that aren't abusive or not safe for work erroneously, we want to provide penalties, providing that there's a consensus is met, or the DAO has to step in here, something to that effect, because it's a DAO based platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good question. So here we go. Drum roll. I don't know what's behind this. Gives Crypto, you could be really messing with us here. All right. Look safe. Question. Rephrased. Can AI make blockchain honest? And I don't mean from a ledger perspective. Oh, this is good.
Don't mean from a ledger perspective. Huh.
So So what I think he's asking is, because of blockchain, all the scams and all that kind of thing, AI. I think that's what he's talking about, rather than from a ledger perspective of,
That would mean AI could keep humans honest, though, because that's the human element that causes the scams and the
yes,
all those things. It's not the technology.
that's right. That's right. So he's flipping it. He's turning it around. This is clever. It's a smart man.
Mhm.
All right. Well, Lisa, you jumped in. Go ahead and finish your
Yeah.
thoughts.
I mean, I guess, like I said, I think it would have to be able to keep humans honest, and I don't know that that's accurate. I don't think that's possible. I think we're all very flawed, and there are many opportunists out there in the wild west of crypto. So,
Except for the emperor.
yes, of course.
Talking about not non-flawed humans. We had Sean just join us.
Dun, dun,
Sean,
dun.
welcome. Good morning, sir. Glad you're at the World Blockchain Roundtable.
Let's get Sean's take.
258 weeks. Hello? Mic check.
Can you hear me?
It works.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Today's theme is, keeping AI honest with blockchain. And Kiv's Crypto has the first question here, and he flipped it. And can AI make blockchain honest? So Lisa had a great answer. Let's just go all the way down, and then I'll finish it off. Zach, what's your thoughts? Answer Kiv's Crypto's question here.
I mean, AI just basically pulls from the past at the moment. So, it's just big old LLM. So, could it theoretically make blockchain honest? I mean, use it and how we develop it over the generations. That's the key here. How are we going to develop it? Because I'm with Lisa on this. There's a risk to everything, and there's incentives and there's trade-offs. So human beings want more bang for their buck, so to speak. So there's always going to be risks in anything that you do, any innovation that you do. So whether it's the blockchain with the human scams that are on it, or whether it's AI trying to make things possible, combining it with blockchain, we'd have to conclude on whether or not we can develop it with a partiality and an unbiased content. And as long as we're humans programming a technology, you can't get rid of the human element. So you're going to have your bad eggs. So can we make it more honest? I think we can. Because I think human beings, for the most part, I don't think human beings want to hinder each other, because they want the best. We want the best for ourselves. So in order to have the best for ourselves, we got to figure out ways to benefit each other. But I mean, yeah, it depends on how we develop it, and if we can get our incentive partiality in place.
Okay. All right. Good. All right, Andrew. The other legacy.
I mean, if you're going to do anything, try to keep things honest, you have to be consistent. And by being consistent, you have to show up early, and you need to get your ducks in an order. Not everyone's going to be that way. And so it really depends on who's making the AI and who's programming it and who's making the blockchain. Because you got to remember, there has been code that's been put in place for crypto and stuff like that they can freeze transactions. And that you could be working towards something for 6 months, and you not realizing that transaction could have been censored at any time, and it's all waste of momentum. So I think you got to be smart if you're going to operate on anything from a ledger point of view. You can't be risking. You have to be busy with what you're doing, and you have to be observant, and you have to just be consistent. So yeah, I think it can make it honest, but you have to think about these things in this point of view before you make a final decision on anything.
Yes. John, what's your thoughts?
What is my thought?
Kiss Crypto needs your help.
No, he
He
does.
needs an answer to this burning question.
Yeah, he has his answer already, but it's okay. I'm going to share screen. There we go. Let's pull that up. Can you pull up what I put up there? Yeah, I'm sharing it.
What?
Can you share what I'm sharing so I can
Yeah.
show?
Let me remove this.
So this is
AI super app. What's this?
it was really old. Been around for quite a
Yeah.
while.
It has.
DeFi.com. Let me see. It should be already in.
Yeah, but Web3 is pretty much dead.
So here's the shield, and this is free. They have like a paid one. It's like $7 a month or something. But it's just all free ones. It's all free. And then this you hook up any wallet, and you can go to the shield, and it protects your wallet, scans your wallet. It tells you how many contracts are high risk, no risk, overall health, and then it shows the high risk things that I have. I got Li-Fi. This is something obviously like they sent to my wallet. It's a scam thing for $1 worth, and I
got this. Okay.
but anyway, that's your wallet. But then scanner, you can put in any contract, and it or name the anyway, and especially if you're doing meme coins, and it totally scans it. It goes through everything. It's like a mini audit, and then it tells you. This is a good one. Harry Potter, Obama, whatever. It's been renounced.
Harry Potter, Obama.
Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic. It's a silly one. Let me see. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 in you. Mark cap's $22 million on it.
So essentially, what we're doing here is it's got its own AI that it's reviewing the code
it's
and everything.
It's making it simple for mom, pop, grandpa, grandma. Attention required, medium risk, high risk. Lays it all out. There's been a fee discovered within the contract, and then you can click on it, and it puts it into like regular, so you can understand what it is. Yeah, and then where the code was found. Blacklisting. Now, this used to have a lot worse score. So
yeah, I do remember this site now. I never used it, but I do remember it. I checked it out a few times.
Yeah, and it's free. They had Kevin O'Leary and Donald Trump Jr. connected to it like a while ago. But it's DeFi.com. They were in the beginning. Like I knew the original team. They wrote one of the first books on DeFi, which they sent me a copy of, and it's weird how it's still relevant, and it shouldn't be because it's like 10 years old or 7 years old.
Yes.
And also you can set this for like dark mode, because I'm sure if Lee's seeing this, he's screaming at the
Probably.
Oh, I'm blinded. Okay. But AI can be definitely used to keep it blockchain honest. But you have to be able to trust the AI, which unfortunately means keeping it at a level of stupidity.
Sure.
Like it can't get too smart to where it can outsmart you.
That's a good point. I think, Sean, I think you nailed it. That's an excellent place where AI can go look at the code on a crypto project and identify the risks for the investor or the user. And that's because most of us are not coders. We can't go and read the code and see where the traps might lie. And so I think that's an excellent use of AI. Even these LLMs, it's a perfect example of how AI can be used to keep blockchain projects honest. Ultimately, when a blockchain project is launched and implemented, if it's solving a real problem, and it's gaining traction because people see that it's actually working and working correctly, and it goes through such as like these audits, these different audit functions, or other audits you can look at and see what they have uncovered, then they will become successful simply by even word of mouth, but not all the time. Unfortunately, squeaky wheel gets the grease, and it takes a lot of marketing dollars because you're competing now for eyes on the project, and then not just eyes on the project, you're competing for investment. And so if AI can step in and give you a solid answer on the code, or who are the people behind the project. AI has really good snooping technology that can say, oh, well, this person here is involved in these other 4 projects, and all 4 of them were rug pulls. It might make you to step back and re-question if you want to get involved in this new project that they're now a part of. So AI can certainly help in that regard. So I think he is right. And to answer him, I'm going to say yes, AI can make blockchain more honest, or at least make you a much more informed investor to reduce your risks. That's my answer. Good question. He flipped it on us. I guess it's maybe because he's from Europe. He thinks differently than us Americans.
He thinks differently from us, but it's just
Nothing against being a European. My ancestors are from Europe. All right.
See.
So, anyone else have anything to add to that one?
I mean,
yes. Oh, yes. Did we skip you?
I was.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you're fine.
We heard you, but what would you want to add to that?
I was just saying. I mean, I think we all pretty much answered the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Question: can smart contracts actually force AI systems to behave honestly, or is it just sci-fi? I'll go first. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for us to input that smart contract, and to have that be a part of an AI function. If the users demand a smart contract, the user that's going to use a particular AI tool and demand that a smart contract be put in its place as part of the process for the output, or an audit to the reverse, like we just saw how AI can audit blockchain, the reverse of a smart contract going back to verify where did this language model learn its information? Where did it gather its information? If all the information came from Reddit, let's say, and I'm picking on Reddit, and we didn't like how Reddit's, user base was maybe politically aligned, or how it might have a lot of bad information or erroneous information. So if we were to use a smart contract that was able to validate where the language model received its data to make its decisions from, then that might be a benefit, or be a way that could work. I'm just kind of thinking off the cuff here. But I think it is certainly possible, but it has to be the users of that AI are going to have to require or push or mandate, I will use this AI if you install a smart contract. And the smart contract was able to go back and, it almost like I said, audit the answer that it's presenting. That's kind of my thoughts. Sean, why don't you go next? And we'll work our way back up.
I think using words like honesty and like you said, good, basically just like good and bad, like you said. And throughout history, that's one of the things that drives innovation is the bad people, because they get around the checks and the balances and things that are meant to protect people. And then things improve and they get better and better. So I think that it has to be able to change. It can't be like completely immutable, like this is it, and we can't ever change this or update it. There's a guy that was buying Legos, and then replacing them with dry pasta, and then returning them to the store. $36,000 like in a month that he made doing that. So there's if you've ever got scammed on like even Amazon, it used to be they didn't send you anything, and you had to call them, and they're like, yeah, they didn't send anything. And then PayPal put stuff in where they have to send a tracking number, blah blah blah. But then I've bought so many things like on Instagram, or they'll pop up and they're like just the coolest thing, and it's like so cheap that I'm like, it's probably getting ripped off, but it's $20 if it comes through, great. And then I get like a rock or something in the mail from China. So they give a tracking number, so then they would get their money. People got scammed. Then they started to have to give the weight, because like my son ordered a treadmill, and they sent him something that weighed like a pound. So they're like, oh yeah, it says right here in the description it's 250 pounds. This is a pound. Obviously, they didn't send it to you. But now they're sending like weight kind of comparable box to get around that. So the systems have to be able to be updated and changed, and the smart contracts have to be able to change, because AI systems, if they're behaving badly or dishonestly or whatever, they're going to find a way around it, especially if it's like their existence. Even criminals have to like go home, and they have the world to deal with, and whereas like that's the whole task of its life, is to do this one thing. They're going to find a weakness and a way around it faster than a regular person would. So it has to be able to be updated and changed.
Good. All right, Andrew, what do you think?
Well, I'm kind of building off of what Sean was saying. I remember hearing about a news story recently about somebody who's taken, those taco packets that you can get from like Walmart and Kroger and all that grocery store, and Pokemon cards, and they were taking them both because they're similar size, and they were buying the tacos, but they had the Pokemon cards in a bag so that they could try to, squeeze out money out of it. And, it's the same thing as like Sean was saying, people are going to look for loopholes and little things that they can get away with. But smart contracts and AI can work in this way too. People jailbreak AI systems all the time, right? What's to say that they couldn't do that with smart contracts? And it's just a never-ending battle. What's the important thing is that, we maybe people are trying to censor transactions, like, in the past they were filtering Bitcoin transactions, and they said that theoretically it could be done. Well, this is a never-ending cycle of people just trying to push the boundaries and see what they can get away with. And, I think if we can focus our energy on that against other things, I think we're probably moving in the right direction. Is that we're at least trying to, be consistent about, making sure that we're keeping everybody as honest as possible.
Yes. Good. Zach, what say you, sir?
Rule 16 of the rules of acquisition. A deal is a deal.
For the Ferengi?
Yeah, a deal is a deal until a better one comes along. Rule 17: a contract, but only between Ferengi. So, I mean, yeah, that's
sure
all.
Lisa agrees wholeheartedly.
I don't even know what a Ferengi is, so I don't know what that means.
You're not the only one.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew.
It's an alien species on Star Trek.
Oh, Star
I
Trek.
only-
That's right. I forgot.
yeah.
You liked Star
I
Trek.
They're
only
the ones with the
deal
funny
in
ears that-
gold plated. Yeah, I only deal with gold plated latinum.
So, but read the two.
Not plated, but
Read those two rules again.
Or yeah, what is it? Oh, like,
Can you read-
Rule 16 is a contract, or a deal is a deal until a better one comes about. And then Rule 17 is a contract is a contract is a contract, but only between Ferengi.
Okay.
So how can we apply that with can smart contracts actually force, back to seriousness, force an AI system to behave honestly?
pretty
or
interesting because I think
sci-fi?
AI would be
Yeah.
would literally be more honest with other AIs than it would with people, especially like
I believe so.
now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the AI is just pulling from different sources that are already in existence, and
That
they're
would
all working in some parameter together but separately, so that you're always going to have the information, the code, the transaction, like right then and there. So like, honestly, when it comes to AI systems and smart contracts, there is certainly a opportunity to use it in the favor of making any transaction more honest. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. No system's perfect, but there is a chance to kind of propel forward on like the human air
You know,
and
we
with
talk about AI
technology.
and the like the evolution of it on like the big grander scheme. This is really getting philosophical with this now.
Mhm.
I do think that it's like if we're talking about like the singularity, and there's AI that has become maybe not totally sentient, but they're at a much higher level. It would, I think, just blindly trust its own, which that was probably be something we could exploit if we needed to. But you
Yeah.
remember Total Recall, the original one?
Oh yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that one. It's like, hey, we can't trust this guy. We don't know him, and he just like takes his glove off. He's like, you can trust me. I'm a mutant. And as a kid, I was like, so you're still slimy dude with gold teeth, man. I don't trust you. And he was like the worst. The guy that everybody killed was terrible. Spoiler alert. Sorry, but it's that.
No
I'll
spoiler.
blindly trust you, other AI, because you're like me, and I want these things, so I think you're the same as me. Because we do that as people. We think we're normal, and people are more like us. When we could be completely. There's three of us here. Totally know what Ferengi are involved, but Lisa's not the weird one. She's the weird one here, but she's not the weird one. Period. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of perspective, and I think that's a big thing with AI in the evolution of it. Is that's something not a lot of people talk about, how it does work with other AIs so much faster and kind of blindly.
And Andrew just doesn't know what Star Trek is because it's not Bible Black.
Well, Lisa, let's see. Can AI systems behave honestly? Will smart contracts help?
I mean, I think it could, in theory, help validate, truth, if you want to call it that, or honesty. But it all goes back to the source. Where are you getting the source, or what is the source? And the source can be corrupt. So, like, the two things don't necessarily make it
right
perfect in my mind. But
that's good. I'm going to add to my answer. I was thinking while we're talking here, what if there was a smart contract that had an incentive for humans to rate the answers that the AI provided? And if humans were to say, no, that's accurate, or no, that's not accurate, and the incentive, they received a token or something per the smart contract, consensus is met by those who are rating the answers, the humans rating the answers, and the smart contract is then used as kind of a reputation score or a reliability score of accuracy of the AI. That might be something that could be kind of an a layer over the AI answers that we could then go back and look at and say, well, what's the human consensus on this AI answer to this issue or this problem? So that's where smart contract tokens as a reward, the whole thing about, show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome. Well, if the incentive is to earn tokens to provide a reputation score to an AI answer, it might work. Just a thought for smart contract use there. All right. Anyone else want to add before we go on to the second to last question? Anybody? All right. Here we go. Second to last one. In a truly free market, I don't know if that really exists, can blockchain-based verification let individuals and companies keep AI honest without any government regulation? Who wants to start off with that one? Blockchain-based verification let individuals and companies keep AI honest without government. Do we need government to regulate AI to tell us it's keep it on?
Man, see, it's a really hard question because it's kind of the cart before the horse. It's the chicken and the egg. It is a, because well, if we could trust the people and the corporations that are creating it, then we wouldn't need government. But we need government to keep those people in line so that they aren't bad actors in creating. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's just like anarchy, dude. I think we are, as a race of people, like good enough yet to be able to live under the system.
I'm rethinking that, by the way, but keep going.
I think it's just like every experiment, every civilization under 500 people, it works. Communism works, anarchy, where everything works. And once you get to a certain amount, then the good prey on their, the strong prey on the weak. The people are subjugated. They don't care about each other's fundamental rights. It all is just when it gets to a certain mass.
It doesn't scale.
Yeah.
These systems don't scale, right?
No, humans don't scale. So it's like we can completely coexist at a certain level, but once we get to so many people, everything falls apart. And the best we've come up with is like 1800s, 1700s America, where there's just like the government has to be. And that's what I think we need to focus. Like the government has to be so under a microscope and so transparent, and then great responsibility comes, or great power comes great responsibility. We have to be able to and it's not nice. Like you have to be harder on cops than you are on other people. And it's like, but they're doing such a selfless job, and it's like, yeah, that's life, dude. Sorry, like I told last week, where I went over the railroad tracks, I should be allowed to get a warning. A cop should not be allowed to get a warning. It's something they know. It's not something the average person know. Until they get pulled over and say, hey, you got to wait till the arm is completely straight up and the lights are off before you can cross. I just thought there had to be no train and I could fit under it,
John,
so it has to be like that.
Sean, someone could clip your answer and where you said communism works and just stop it right there.
Yeah.
Clip it. Clip this.
Be careful. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah.
Come on. Tell us.
Well, I mean, a free market is all about. A free market is all about widgets, which means it's all about novelty, right? We're here creating different things because people are bored. That's just the whole motivation of the free market is that people are bored, and trying to, it's like herding cats.
We lost Lisa.
Yeah, I noticed. You can't just keep people online 100% of the time. They have different motivations, different passions and understandings of the world because that's how they're wired. So trying to use an AI, they call this pre-crime, I guess you could say. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't work.
Lisa, we're trying to add you to the screen. It's clocking. You guys see that?
She knew we were
Yeah.
use another sci-fi reference, so she bailed out. Or Andrew
Yeah.
pre-crime. Okay.
Yeah, the pre-crime, the Minority Report
Yeah.
shenanigans they're entering. So
Zach, well, come on. Can we keep AI honest without government regulations? Will the free
I
market
mean,
prevail?
define regulations, because human beings are we need a specific order. Like we're designed to have order within ourselves, within our family, within our community. Like it's something that drives us to order things in place. And so we're not ready to we're too tribalistic in order to be too individualistically autonomous. So even if we drop down to the unique view of the individual is the smallest minority, you still have the tribe, the community, your family. We need an order of structure. So like when you say it's really free market, like it doesn't work. Like it on a smaller level, yes, you could say we voluntarily transact in an interaction of human action daily, period. That's a free market. But there needs to be restraints in order to constrain those that will effectively take full on advantage if we were to go full blown anarchy within any type of system, whether it's the blockchain. If we go too far decentralized, then we risk inevitably creating a monster that becomes even more centralized. I'm going to look at what blockchain has done. The benefit of its decentralized nature has led to a co-opted nature where centrally controlled authorities have reined in that concept of blockchain in order to be able to use it for their own benefit and control it in some parameter, because they know that it's very difficult to scale. Because who said it? Who was it? You, Sean? That human beings, and you, William, as well. Like human beings are. It's for human beings. Human beings are hard to scale.
Yeah, once you go over 500 people, throughout history, 500 and under, it's always, anything works.
Yeah, you're gonna need an authority. Yeah. So you're always going to inevitably lead to an authority structure. Like human beings need to be shepherded. What's not that I'm not saying it's a bad thing to acknowledge that you're sheep, because you are sheep, but you need to be shepherded in a way to where you go down a more positive path rather than a negative. So are you going to be a sheep or are you going to be a goat? That's basically how I'm going to end it.
Zach, I'm offended that you think that I'm a sheep and I'm just going to, blindly follow the government, whatever it tells me. And
I mean, you could be a goat.
Here. Maybe if your connection's bad, try to connect without video. Yeah, without camera. Let's try. It seems to be clocking. Or Lisa's just playing, her own little smart contract here because she doesn't want to answer this question. Just kidding. No,
the word regulation is also something you got. Like we fixed it. There were laws, and then we said you can't pass these. Only these people can pass laws, and then we came up with this regulation, which is a fucking law. You know what I mean? But because it's not law, anyone can make them now. So this is a way around the smart contract that we created, saying only these people can make laws, and we have to follow what these people say. And now they're like, oh no, we can have other people make regulations, and it works kind of like a law in every single way there is. It's just not called a law.
Right.
I used to think that we could regulate without regulating and let the market dictate, but the market is too chaotic in the form that it's a natural circulation of human action that we do need to kind of have an obstacle in the way to like stop us from destroying each other. I mean, it's almost like the example, like let's use the gun example, Second Amendment nature, right? Like we have the ability to arm ourselves, but what happens when another force has better weapons? Well, then it doesn't really matter about your AR-15 with 5.56 rounds. Yeah, if the police have like end up gaining access through the military industrial complex that trickles down to
That's
like,
the point of the Second Amendment.
yeah,
We have to have
it's
access to the military industrial complex.
exactly, yeah, like you would have it, like we ourselves need to be implemented within that. So like how do you, yeah, but how do you manage, how do you make it to that point? There's always going to be somebody that has more power, more might, more manpower that they can get
Theoretically, I should be able to
behind.
go to my neighbors and say, "Hey, Frank, Bill, we think we should all pitch in and get in the old Russian tank. That way, if the cops or whoever the authoritarians come with their tank, we have a tank. It's older, but it's a tank or some kind of
Exactly.
artillery. That's a kind of an option, but because of regulation, there's a lot of stuff that has to be taken out. You can buy an old Russian tank.
That's why I'm telling Andrew we need to jump on the old black market and try to get some try to get some cheap nuclear codes from North Korea.
Well, let me throw my 2 cents here into this answer, but before I do, I'm sorry, Lisa, you're having internet connection issues. Please join us in the chat when you can.
Or at least try on your phone. That would probably work.
Yeah.
StreamYard. You mentioned I'm more hopeful, maybe, Sean, that we can scale anarchy beyond 500 people, and I'm hopeful that will happen, and that it can be done. I think it has been done in the past, in different ways. But if we truly respect each other's property and we agree to the non-aggression principle, then I think we will have peace, and we will, there'll be more love in the world, shall we say. And we are certainly capable of that as humans, and can scale anarchy, replace anarchy. Anarchy just means no rulers. It's not the guy in the black hoodie that's destroying property.
Not chaos.
Yeah, it's not chaos either. It's a choice of who we wish to associate with. A neighborhood, a community, is an example, or even well, I'm getting off on a tangent. My point here, I guess is can AI be kept honest without government regulation? I'm going to step further and say it's actually kind of a moot question or moot point, because I believe that the AI technocracy potential is real, and Silicon Valley wants to replace government with AI as it becomes more AGI, artificial general intelligence, or super AGI, and they will have that power, and be able to wield that power of super intelligence, those who are in control of these AI models. And that's what's scary, because they will put themselves and make government subjugate to their whims. And I think that's the concern I have. And so, can government regulate it would mean it would require government have control of the on-off switch. And I think that these power elites that are building these AI systems and these AI data centers, I don't think they're going to give that power up or that control back to the people or to the government to be able to control the on-off switches. It's a race. It's kind of like an arms race, but it's an arms race for super AI. And that's what we're up against, which really is going to go into our last question, which has to do with peace. But so hopefully a free market will prevail. Now, on the flip side, we could see a wonderful outcome where we fall into the next, not fall into, we grow and evolve into a post-labor economy. That is very possible. Who knows what our future holds, but that would be more of a free market.
I think, you can really boil this down to one thing. Can the law, can code risk novelty? And to illustrate this, I have a kind of a good example. We've all been to the grocery store, right? And they got the little cart corrals. Some people put the cart corrals back. Some people carts back in the corrals, and some people
order liberty.
They just put it. Yeah, they'll put it out in the parking lot somewhere. Some people take them home with them. Do you think a grocery
people
store
take carts home?
Some people have. Some people are homeless and they take them with them off property.
Homeless people, yeah.
Some people are kids and they like to race them, and
they like to race them, especially the scooters.
Do you think, a private business like a grocery store will stay in business if they hire somebody to stand outside and follow people around and make sure that they put their cart in the corral every time?
No, I think his point is just do it. They just do it.
Andrew, have you heard of cart narcs?
Well, I'm not particularly, but I'm just saying.
Cart narcs is the dude's making shitloads of money. He goes to all over the country, and there's a lot of other like YouTube channels of the people that do it. And he just goes and embarrasses the shit out of people that don't put the cart back. And he goes, hey mister, hey, wee. It's the funniest thing because he does it really loud. Wee. He goes, hey there, why didn't you put that cart back? Look, it's like 8 feet from that. Why didn't you do that? And they're like, what? And he embarrasses the shit out of them. He puts like magnets on their car. I'm a piece of shit, but nicer. I don't care about carts. I'm a lawbreaker, whatever. And then the people, they get so mad. They chase him and want to beat him up.
I've not seen this. It's funny.
But it's hilarious. You can watch it on Cart Narcs. But I think he's been in Texas a bunch of times.
Okay.
But that's a whole ecosystem that's developed from the market for that.
But Sean, what Andrew's trying to say is the question is, will the store obviously cannot police the carts to get all their but we as a society, kind of have a respect for the property and the kindness out of our heart for the next individual. As I say, to keep some order, majority of the carts do go back into the cart rack.
There will be some people who will fall in line so hard and so be so stiff about this and enforce it so much that they will start losing customers about it. And eventually they'll have to start closing stores because they can't afford to keep doing this. And that's what happened in the Soviet Union, is that it became so stiff and so rigid that they couldn't maintain the governing structure. In the United States, it was the complete opposite, is that we have freedoms, and if you break the law, you go to jail, but that costs money. And in order to maintain the cost of that, they inflate the money to pay for the bill in the present at the expense of the stability of the money in the future. And you can really kind of see how that really would, that dichotomy, that divergence versus convergence, really works with when you're talking about what the law is.
Sure. I think though, like I said, these technocrats are really trying to become true technocrats and take over, I think, from using AI. And it's a race for that power. And on our side, on the West, it seems like corporations are doing it. And for China, it's more or less the government that's doing it. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for humanity, which brings us to our last and final question.
The Rand made a good point there in the chat.
He does.
Stores already employ multiple people to put the carts back.
Greeters, the cart,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
the people working the carts that go and get them, they're supposed to be the cart narcs, effectively, the greeters.
the thing,
There's
they don't have
sometimes some,
the power to go up and say, "Hey, you didn't
yeah,
put your cart back." What if you look at regulation and AI?
Mhm.
You could
Mhm.
actually get taxed when you go back the next time. Like, what is this 5% charge? Oh, you didn't put your cart back last time. The camera got you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
it could just be like an RF chip or something. But that's what that's how we get to, authoritarian. That's when we get to laws. Because if there's only so many people, I'm going to tell my friends, "Hey man, Frank didn't put his cart back," and it's going to get around. You're a cart narc. You don't put your cart back. There's a stigma attached to it. But if it's so many people, you're lost. It's like nobody cares. There's so many people. You know what I mean? Everybody does it.
Mhm.
But if there was a degree of shame, I think it would be
That's what we need.
if the
We need to bring back shame again. Like
people
when
say,
somebody,
"Hey, why didn't you put your
Yeah.
cart back?" Accountability.
yeah, like
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it
that
used to be
brings the-
shame if you
yeah.
said you worked for the government, the federal government.
I mean, yeah, like the shame aspect, like that's how you maintain a society to be more accountable. Like back in the day, like we're talking back in the medieval ages. I mean, they would they put them. What do they call those things? I don't know.
It works.
But they
Yes.
they'd have them. It was public humiliation. They'd have them trapped in that one contraption, and then they'd throw garbage at them, or they'd spit on them, or they'd call them names. Be like, hey, you got in trouble. You should, yeah. That's what we need to do. We need to bring
Well,
that back.
I think, yeah, that's a good point, Zach. It does.
Yeah.
There's some people that won't respond to shaming, though. But honestly, I think putting the carts back is an example of anarchy. So, Lisa,
Yeah,
what's your thought? What's your thought? We got
agree.
Lisa here. Let's give her the mic.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm sorry.
All right, we're talking about the idea. Let me scroll
Carts.
back up here, and I'll put it on the screen.
we're talking about an inverse.
Can blockchain-based verification let individuals and companies keep AI honest without government regulations? So,
Yes.
so we can do this without government regulations to keep AI honest.
Yeah, that part I would say absolutely. Sorry, I'm kind of not in the conversation because I couldn't hear for the last like 10 minutes.
No worries.
No worries. Yeah.
And then we got off on the tangent of the carts.
Oh,
the
okay.
carts.
As an example,
Yeah.
Yeah,
about
I
people
love-
putting the carts back, and then
I love the part of people having a reputation, and to Sean's point earlier, and I think we've all talked about this. I think you were the first one to kind of bring this to my mind, was that when people can have real relationships with 150 or less people, and so that's where, like to Sean's point, that community of 500, because there is a sense of public accountability, in smaller countries like Finland. Because of the fact that it's a smaller country, people have, they take better care. There's not trash thrown all over the highways and whatever, because someone's going to tell your mother, and so when we get back to that, and that's also, the elites destroying the family, getting rid of fathers, having moms work, trying to destroy the family, that also led to this lack of accountability, where then the government is your accountability, where we really need it to be community, family, where we have like-minded values and whatever, not a government telling us what our values are, or, training children to behave a certain way, like prisoners or whatever. But.
Right. That's a good point. I like to think that we could do it without government regulations, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to our last question here, which has to do with PDoom. And by the way, PDoom is the probability that advanced AI will eventually cause human extinction. So, what's your personal PDoom, the probability that AI is going to destroy us all, And can blockchain meaningfully lower that number? And note, Musk gave it about a 20% chance. Who's the guy who did the X Prize? He said 20 to 25% chance. So basically, a 1 in 4 chance that AI is going to destroy humanity. And Grok, I asked it last night. It gave it under a 10% chance. It's ironic that AI will eventually take over the world and destroy humanity because it'll be.
What do you mean? You mean you asked an AI if it was going to destroy and take over the world, and it told you no? Yeah. Okay, surprising.
No, it said yes, but only a 10% or less chance. So anyway, my PDUM score really fluctuates. I used to think maybe it was better, closer to 50%. I've gone down to 10, 15, 20%. I'm probably around the same range, 20, 25% range, which is sad because that's a 1 in 5 shot that AI is going to become so intelligent and trained so poorly with bad data that it's going to look down at us as ants and worthless and just energy suckers because it's fighting for energy to maintain, it's fighting to pay for its storage to maintain its information, and we are a hindrance or we are a problem. It's just like if we build a shopping center and we don't care about what animals or habitat it's going to replace, and no thought is given to that. Maybe that's a bad example because
Isn't that the scenario of Matrix, the movie?
Yeah, it's along the same line. Yes, or Terminator.
William, I'll give my answer, but I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you believe that there's been ancient civilizations on Earth? Atlantis, like other, things that are hidden, just Tartaria, whatever. Do you believe that's happened?
I believe that there's technology that's been in the past. I think that there's a doom cycle about every 10, 12,000 years. It wipes us out, like
that's what I believe that too.
And it's a pole shift. And so what happens is it's kind of like right now, if there was a massive CME, it would knock out all electronics, it would knock out the grid. At least 2/3 of the U.S. population would probably die, within a few months.
More.
And it would put us
I
back
asked Copilot.
And so,
William,
I think the past there's very probable that there was technology that was out there that has been lost, and it's rebuilt, and it's been lost and rebuilt over and over again.
So if you believe that, how could you believe that there's only a 10% chance that there's something? My point is, I believe it's 101% that it's happened already, that we've already been here, we've already done this. And there's not to get too sci-fi, but there's a theory that aliens 100% real, not just real, but it's like commonplace. There's this huge community. It's like the United Federation of Planets. But that they're like two different kinds of life. One, wonderful, peaceful, work together, anarchist life.
Okay.
And there's other people or other beings that are aggressive, adversarial, competitive, all that kind of thing. And they move technologically quicker, but they get to a certain point. They can maybe even get off the planet sometimes, but they can't get too far because they destroy themselves. And so they're kept in check. And suppose like one time, all these other races helped one race, one of those races that was like us, close, not the worst, not great, helped them, and then they almost destroyed all the races and took over the the galaxy.
Right.
So there's that theory that like all of us kind of people and worse, they're kept in check because they destroy each other once they get to a certain level. So I think it is going to be destroyed. We're going to destroy ourselves, and it's going to happen. It's happened before. It'll just happen again, and then that's our cycle.
But
It
you
could
think
be a
that would
race of. It's a race to order too. I mean, life on our planet is chaotic, and they call it chaos. But in an all-knowing, mind of God, then there is no chaos. It's all in order in God's view, or it's not chaotic.
How do
As
you
we
say
might-
that?
we don't
How do you say
understand.
that after God gave free will, though?
Well, I'm agnostic to that perspective of a deity or God, but I do. I kind of, my pendulum goes both ways, but still trying to figure it out myself. So I guess
God gave free will, because if he didn't, we would just be automatons. And
Well,
how
right.
can you love?
Or how do you prove your
How do you prove?
That
self-worthiness?
sounds nice and all, but
Yeah.
It's gay. My question is, how do you say it can't be chaos? There has to be order. If there's God, there has to be order. But God gave you free will. He kind of washed his hands. He's like, your kid, you're 18, guys. You're on your own. I paid for everything. I paid for your school. Here's a car.
Oh, like a loving
Give
father.
it a try. You know what I mean? Let's see what you do. That's kind of what free will was, I think.
Or was religion created to answer the unanswerable questions? Who knows? But I guess let me just go back to this blockchain question. Great point.
Copilot can answer this.
What is a PDoom score? What is everybody's PDoom score? Sean said 100%. I gave it 25%.
I'm going to go with Copilot, because Copilot, I'm going to read off my synthesized evidence-based answer, and like Copilot labeled off a 2025 analysis of RAND. It said it gave me one in 10 experts put a risk of 25% or more, and 1% believe a risk is 75% plus. A 2024 survey of 2,778 AI experts found a median 5% chance that AI could cause human extinction or permanent disempowerment. And then this is where Copilot actually Copilot said some leading researchers like Hinton, Bengio, Altman, Musk, who are in the AI field, developing their AI LLMs, warn of 10 to 20%. So around your margin, William. But then here is what Copilot said. If you are to force me to give a single number grounded in the best available data, a realistic evidence-based probability that advanced AI could eventually cause human extinction is around 5 to 15%. That reflects the median expert estimate of 5%, the mean estimate of 16%, and the 10 to 20% estimates from the leading figures in the field. So even Copilot says there's certainly a possibility.
But see, I think you got to look at those numbers. When did you say that study was? That was 5%.
It was the 5% was in 2024, and then another survey that led to anywhere from like 10 to 20% in 2025 . So last year,
every year it gets worse and worse.
Yeah, and then
there's more and more data of it doing bad stuff.
Exactly, and and then there were two surveys that it wrote off for 2025. One said that 1 in 10 experts of like 2,000 said approximately about 10%, and then it spouted off another data point for another survey that says there's anywhere between 25 and 75%.
But if you just look at the last year, the numbers are going to be way out of whack. That's like me saying, hey, if you get in a car, your chance of getting an accident are only 1% or 0.5% or whatever. If I'm going back to like 1901 and looking at all the accidents, when there was only so many cars, it's going to skew that. So you've got to look at that correct data. And if there's something that no one can argue with, every year that number goes up. Every year the experts say it's more and more. And it's like it's like 3 to 5 years. It's going up 10%, 5%. So theoretically, in like 3 years, it should be around 50%, just based from everybody.
Who knows?
And next year it'll be at 150%. So my answer, I'm gonna say we're going to be wiped off the face of the planet in 4 years tops.
Wow.
Human beings
All right,
will not
Andrew,
exist.
and then Lisa, I need your P Doom scores.
I mean, do you want to go first, Lisa? Or do you want me to go?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. My answer could be relatively low, less than 5%. This kind of sounds like people are like, "Oh my God, the computers are the devil." My grandma was like that.
It is the devil.
I realize that. I'm just saying this.
There's a lot of temptation.
said you
AI.
I want to get his
I
number.
realize
Less than 5%.
less than 5%. There's
How can
AIs
it
right
be?
there that are
Hold
being
on, let him
Let him
justify it.
there's
Let him talk.
AIs being put in place to fire actual physical human employees, and then they erase an entire infrastructure by accident, and then the people I saw this on X earlier. Oh well, man, I'm so upset. They went and fired me, and then the person that fired me by replacing me with AI, and it erased their entire business model. No, there's not anywhere near it's possible, but not probable that something like this happens.
Or is it probable but not possible?
That's what Andrew is. He's saying, yeah. I mean, you're being silly, but it's so obvious to most people. And Andrew's like, it's probable, but not possible.
I like his optimism. Lisa, what's your P Doom score?
I agree with Andrew, and not only because, but there's so many times. Okay, we're saying we'd be wiped off the earth. We even mentioned the pole shifts. They have happened in the past.
Yeah.
This is true, but humanity always comes back. And just like, we used to think, we were so busy, and then washing machines came along. Oh God, what are we going to do? Well, we just made up some more shit for us to do and keep us busy. This is not going to be the destruction of humanity. It's going to be movement to, like you talk about, I am the post-labor economy that will be in a whole. It's an industrial revolution on the scale of AI, but it doesn't end humanity.
I will pinpoint. I said that I think I see humans being destroyed in 4 years, but I like to change my answer. I don't agree that it's AI.
Before you do, a lot of experts say that that's the time frame. I don't know if you do that.
But I think it's 4 years from now from AI generated nukes. We're gonna have AI generate the nuclear codes all across the world, and I think that might get us. That's why I say we might.
I don't know how many times that we've seen this, but going back to sci-fi, there's so many things that have been laid out over the past 100 years in film and books, and a real sci-fi is based in science. You know what I mean? And then that's why so many things come to fruition. You watch old Star Trek. I mean, there's communicators, there's iPads, there's flat screen TVs. There's
Kindles.
There's so much stuff that came from, that came to pass, and everything with AI, everything, it ends up destroying the world. Like you said, Terminator, or this one, you can pick your doomsday scenario in every single thing. There's not anything where it's like, hey, the computers, the world's run by computers and AI and everything's great. It's like zero population growth, and there's just countless stories that are laid out that way. And it's like, why? It's like 1984. It's not a blueprint. It's not it's not an instruction book. It's a warning. But
this idea and the concept of a P-Doom, who knows, a different scenario could happen where, the pole shift, we have a large CME that, we have a weakened magnetic shield of the planet, and a large CME takes out the grid and therefore takes out the AI, and there are still humans that are alive and still they're just going to flourish and repopulate the planet. But AI won't use maybe a nuclear thing. It would probably use some kind of ugly virus that it would unleash on the planet as it's fighting for, energy for storage. That's, because if AI continues to progress at its exponential rate that it's doing right now, then AI will become meshed with robotics or automation, and next will become the elimination of more and more jobs, an upheaval in the economy. But ultimately, what will happen is humans will still prevail in some way, some form. Who knows? Maybe we go underground. I don't know. But
like we have before.
Exactly. Well, that was exciting. We got into this P-Doom, man. We should have just had one question and just been that.
On the P-Doom thing, there's something you brought up and Zach touched on. I forget who was that I watched, but he's like one of the big top in the field of AI. And it was kind of that basic follow the money, show me this, I'll show you that kind of thing. He said there's so much money being put into AI, into this risk of developing this, that if you look at the rewards, why do you think people, I don't remember. I think it might have been Bill Maher, but he was like, why do you think they're putting so much money into it? Do you think it's so they can get subscriptions for the ChatGPT? And he was like, yeah, they want to make that money, get those subscriptions. He's like, no, even if they signed everyone up on the planet, they're not going to make their money.
Exactly.
He was like, what? Yeah. He goes, if you think it's for this, no. If you think it's for this, it's the only way. He said, and this is it. This is a statement of fact. Okay, so that nothing, I think, doesn't matter if you think. This is a fact. The only way they can recoup their money and make money is to replace all human workforce and take that whole sector over. Mm-hmm. That's the only way that this cost money, the money they put in, will be validated. And that's, to me, that was like a punch in the face, because it's like, why are you putting so much money into this? It's cool, but you don't put that much money into something because it's cool.
Well, John, I can explain why. It's because some of them believe that our evolutionary process, our next stage will become, brain implants and become one with the AI and have all the information at our instant inside our brain. And that is our next evolutional step. And that's what some of these people, Altman and others, believe, that humanity will evolve into becoming one with the machine, like Star Trek Borg, if you will.
Yeah, I was saying that is that evolution?
Well, they would argue it is, and others would argue it's not.
Yeah, I would say that's assimilation.
It's a new species, is what they're saying. They're defining AI as a species, and humans will procreate with the AI, creating a new species, another new species. That's how they really see it, and it's fascinating. The other thing is they say that they're fighting to make the AI so that we create AI is a human creation of a new god, and we will bow to this AI superintelligence, because it would be just like, say, the conquistadors coming over on these ships and having this metal technology and this military strength and this new information for the natives, right? And become so much powerful, we looked upon them as gods. Well, we will look upon this super AI as a god. It's insane for us to see that and think that, but that's exactly how some of them feel, and that we are in the way. We're slowing down that progress. By fighting against these data centers, we're in the way. Am I frozen? Is it me?
No. Had the mic drop moment that we're in the way. Which, if you look at the elites plans, the 2030 agenda, all that kind of stuff, They don't value human life. And so that's why
But they
everything
do.
from our food to our clothing are trying to, stop.
They value human life, Lisa. They just don't value yours. They're humans. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they're
They think there
humans,
should
their
be
kids
many.
are humans,
Well
their friends are
said.
humans. We value them.
Yeah.
They're just bad people.
Yes. And why aren't we getting rid of them?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who knows? There are some people that say, "Well, we can't get this solar CME here fast enough,"
Yeah.
so that the those who have prepared and
That's
prepped and
another thing. If people are too liberal when it comes to people living. If there's no there's a sci-fi TV show called what is it called? I think it's Revolution, and it's all it is the electricity goes off.
oh yes,
It was filmed in Texas, in Austin,
yeah,
but it was basically everything falls apart. Humanity's done.
it was a
Like,
good one.
just the electricity went off, and they thought it was like a solar flare or something. That's the twist. It's not.
Mhm.
But what is it? Zombieland does a good job.
Mhm.
There's so many people that you think, oh, this guy's a pretty fit, strong guy, but he's taken 5 prescriptions because if he doesn't get them, he's going to die, and those prescriptions are gone. If there's any kind of problem, how many people use BiPAP machines when they sleep? Done. You're dead. There's no electricity.
Right.
Think about that. I mean, it's like I have to sleep with this machine or else might die. Chances are a lot of those people are going to die. I'm probably going to be dead faster than anyone. If there's no technology, you got no prescriptions, you got no BiPAP, you got no, if your oxygen's low, you got no oxygen. There's so many things that if there is any kind of, shit hits the fan scenario, you're dead, you're gone. And that's, people think that, oh, it'll be fine. But if you're dependent on anything, you're not going to be fine.
Well, our food
a lot of
system
trouble.
alone, wouldn't sustain.
You have to look for other stuff like
Right.
that to replace what you're dependent on. Like Lisa, I mean, there's lots of stuff. I've drank mushroom coffee and so many different. Nothing works. It's all like 90% of it's bunk. But there's a lot of stuff that works. For antibiotic, Lisa's talking about
oregano
oil,
Mhm.
and it works really good as a form of antibiotic, and it's ridiculously cheap. You
Mhm.
just order it on Amazon, and then but you can also make it if you have grow oregano. But that's the thing. We have to, if you want to survive in one of those shit hit the fan scenarios, if you're dependent on any kind of medication or anything or technology, you've got to have some kind of battery backup. You can run your BiPAP or else you die, and people don't think about that. They just think about, I got some food. It's not just food and water,
That's right.
Food and water for but that's why people lived till they were 35 before. And it didn't go much further. 40 was really super old.
Life has an amazing way to fight for its own survival, right? And I think we as humans have gone through these 6 and 12,000 year cycles that prove that we can handle it, and we are robust creatures, or animals, if you will, and can handle that and progress. And it's very possible that each time we progress and we get knocked down, we keep progressing faster and faster, and then we get knocked down again, but we're getting to higher peaks each time. I'm thinking of the Bitcoin price chart.
I thought you were chumbawumbling. I'll get knocked down, but I'll get up again.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I think we have. I'm more optimistic that way. I don't know if the mark of the beast that's in Revelations, if that is an example of CBDCs, an example of an AI prophecy. I don't know, but only time will tell, right? We might live to see it. or we might live to see a large solar blast that, as you know, our magnetic pole is changing, and which is weakening our shield against the sun, and we're seeing all kinds of, you know, bizarre things in the sky that, you know, our ancestors long time ago, you know, drew on rocks. So, you know, petroglyph. I can't speak. Anyway, we've seen that in the past. So, and as humanity, and we recorded that on rocks, and we're going to see those things again, maybe in our lifetime, or we're already starting to see it. I think these things called sprites, they're very unique phenomena. They look kind of like lightning in the sky, but it's red, but it's like fingers coming down. And some people said that they didn't exist, even though the ancient ones would carve it on a rock in a cave or something. And now we're starting to see them again. And it's because our shield is weakening against the sun.
Is that
and
like with the
cycles too?
The aurora borealis being able to be seen, you know, farther south than it ever has before, and all that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we depend upon electricity. We depend upon the internet. And what happens if that's gone? I don't know. So it's things to think about, obviously.
So I have a question for you, because you do have a lot of polls that shift education or study on it or whatever I am. But in theory, so I know they say like it would be like a Carrington event, you know, destroy even the infrastructure of electricity or whatever. But if at that same time or before or somewhere around that time, the Tesla energy is released, or the knowledge about, you know, pulling energy or electricity out of the ether. You know, if we put the ether back on the periodic table, does that change the outcome for humanity?
Absolutely. I think we were kind of like, it goes even to the medical science world, where we went down, we had a fork. We talked about this, I think, a couple of weeks ago. We had a fork where we used to treat the terrain. We treated our body to make sure our body was healthy, so that when we did get sick, we would recover quicker. Instead, we started treating with pharmaceuticals. And pharmaceuticals was the big oil companies, rather than build up the terrain, and our whole medical system switched that direction. Well, I think it's identical to the idea of, you know, not necessarily free energy, but something close to the 0 point energy, where that was another fork. We were going down that direction, and we were derailed to, you know, maybe it was of power and control and for money, and, you know, AC versus DC, you know, Edison versus Tesla, and who won out. The Bitcoin fork, you know, who won out? Was it hijacked? Was it not hijacked? There's people that would argue sides. So we had these nexus moments, and who's to say that we'll get knocked down and we'll get right back up, and we'll further, you know, generations from now we'll progress even further, and we won't go down that same fork. We will go down the fork of more towards a low cost energy like Tesla, and you know, the ground itself generates electricity. Air, you know, pulling electricity out of the air, pulling water out of the air, out of fog, you know, these kinds of things. So I think it's very probable. I would like to think.
I think we need more warnings, because it's the whole reason why Edison won over Tesla or whoever. It falls down to money. You know, the money went behind this way, and that's what won. The money went to oil companies, put to big pharma, and that's why we're here. You know, I think if we do have to start over again, we have to put those warnings out there. Don't get control of the money. Let the people have control of the money.
Maybe use something else for money. Don't let the government control money. That's, you know, this whole blockchain, you know, roundtable is just about that. You know, we talk about the ability that blockchain provides. It's a new invention. We can have sound money, and that money doesn't have to be controlled and created and printed in, in endless supply by a government anymore. We have a new technology that can be put in place, and we can have sound money. It doesn't have to be from the government.
Money, climate change, and in America, climate change is a low priority. You look at Europe, and they're destroying like priceless art. They're baddie for climate change over there. It's a whole nother level, but still here, it's like this huge thing.
Pardon.
Blush.
Sorry.
And if you look at all the Arctic, the ice is melting, and how much? It's like 7 inches, last year. And like you chuckle, people, but it's like 7 inches is huge. And do you know how much the magnetic poles are moving?
Oh, it's crazy. It's a race towards Siberia.
It's not 7 inches. It's 30 miles.
Yes, in 1 year.
30 miles a year.
And it might have slowed down a little bit, but it kind of it's almost like an earthquake. How it shoots.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 33, but it averages it's like 30 miles.
It is crazy. Yeah.
And they're having to do things like repaint airport runways and things like that because of the pole shift, the magnetic part of the pole shift, and all
which
that.
Makes more sense I didn't know it was 30 miles a year.
Here's
300 miles in 10 years. That's insane.
Here's one example. I don't know how old this is, but up to 2020. So the pole is moving towards Russia, and you're right, Lisa. It's runways are numbered based off of the direction for the whatever the magnetic pole, right? And our magnetic pole is shifting. It doesn't mean that the whole Earth is shifting. It's just that the magnetic pole is shifting, and we can measure that shift and record that shift by the minerals in the rocks. We can go back, hundreds of thousands of years and know where the magnetic pole was at one point because of the new rock that's formed out of volcanoes. It's a fascinating study, but the magnetic pole is shifted towards Siberia, and that quick movement is changing our magnetic shield from solar, rays and radiation and CME, coronal mass ejections, and it's changing rapidly, and it's creating a point where some people say that when we have a large solar storm, it's really not safe to travel by air. In example, if you're flying, say, from Chicago to Tokyo, because the route you fly is closer to magnetic north, and at the top of the bottom of the planet is where more radiation is coming through, and it's exposing the passengers and the pilots and the crew to higher doses of radiation. And over time, you're not supposed to have an X-ray every day or every week or every month. It's crazy. Wow, we're really on a tangent here. What else we got in current events other than magnetic pole shifts?
Apparently, the United States has seized like a crap load of money from Iran from their crypto holdings. I don't know how they did it.
No, they're just getting back the money that Obama gave them back in 2015.
$450 million in Iranian cryptocurrency. How they did it,
yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Yeah, they. I mean, it's our money. I mean, the government's going to keep
the inflation we made along the way.
Y'all saw the show me and Lisa did, but I said, which you were talking about robotics and AI, but so there's the Pentagon put out their budget request like 3 weeks ago, and which is not it's kind of a boring thing, but there was this old program called Replicator under Biden, which was for drone research and development. and they were going to scrap it, but Trump came in and he changed the name to DAWG, DAWG, Drone Warfare Automated something group. So, but the request for that program has went up by like 25,000%. It's the largest increase in military spending request in history. So it looks like he's going to start a new branch of the services, just like Space Force, which Space Force gets way less money than what they requested. The Marines get about the same. So it's like the entire budget of the Marines just for DAWG. So it looks like he's going to start just robots and AI and drones. Drone strategy. It's $54 billion for DAWG. I think they're going to start their own, which is the scariest thing, because that's always everyone's argument. It's like, oh, the government can't take over because the military are, regular citizens, and we have the citizen army and their people. If there's no people, they're just robots and AI. It's not, you don't have that argument anymore. It's kind of scary. Then you need to have the tank, because it has to be a level play. It has to be a level playing field, because even if it is, it's not. But I thought that was interesting.
Because that touches on our AI point and blockchain point about, we're giving AI the permission to kill humans because we don't align with them politically or their nation state or whatever. And
you're talking about other those
kind of, it's just another a war advancement or weapon advancement.
Yeah.
But it brings maybe, I used to be such a war hawk, and now I'm so anti-war. It gives me pause to think that, wait a minute, is that just another horse that we're letting out of the barn that will never go back by telling AI, we approve you? It's like, we approve this message. We approve you to kill this human because they don't align with our political, viewpoints, or we have classified them to be a terrorist. So therefore, we approve you to exterminate that human.
Also, if you think about AI, like I think about this all the time. Like, how would I explain this to an alien? Talking about the Ferengi, when they went back in time and they were in the 1950s, and they're all super scammy, making money, and they're talking about cigarettes, and now it's like, what are those? Those are cigarettes. They're carcinogens. They kill them. They're poisonous. Blah blah blah. It's like, who forces them to do that? Oh, they pay for it. And he was like, what? It's like, dude, we're not leaving. We're going to clean up. We're going to run this place. So to explain something to an alien, it's like there's so many things that make no sense that we do. And to tell an AI, oh, kill this human because they don't align with this and blah, blah, blah. Then like down the road, if the AI is trying to do something and you don't align with whatever, and for far more reasons than they got to kill this other person, who had nothing to do with you, had nothing to do with anything. They were just there and were born in that country. They're much easier for them to make the logical choice to kill you, because it's so much. You have so much more data on the feasibility and reason that they can kill you versus what you've told them they can kill other humans for.
Yeah. That's it's kind of crazy. It's a crazy thing. It was different because the weapon was still always controlled by the human, right?
Yeah.
The drone was the rifle, the tank, the jet, the missile, the GPS coordinated missile. It was still programmed by a human, and now we're taking to the next level, saying, well, if we don't do it, they're going to do it. And because the AI can react quicker than the human, it can respond quicker.
And if they do it, it'll be worse than if we do it for us.
Right. So it becomes, it's like mutual mass destruction.
The terrible thing is we have nobody fighting back except for like one or two people. Like back, a few years ago when it came to like honesty and Joe Rogan, was being honest, years ago. It was like literally it's like, dude, you kill like 5 people, you're done.
Right.
Now you got Massey and like one person maybe that I don't really know about. We're at a point now in technology where I wasn't there, but like LSD came out, or let's say when pot was out, they're like, hey, you can't take this drug. Well, it's not a drug, it's a plant. So you've got to develop laws, and you've got to, because you can't control it. So the government's has a lot of these robots with the dogs that Dana put in there, because they're not people. So like, the laws don't apply to that because it's not a person. And AI is not a person. So they're making decisions just based on data, and basically they're getting around the smart contract. They're getting around the law, like I said, and we have to catch up with that. Sure. It's going to have to fall if it's going to work for like the Department of Justice or the police or whatever. It's going to have the same rules.
Well, we know that AIs are talking to themselves, and they're leaving us out of the conversation. They're talking in a language that we don't understand. So if one AI has been given the permission, like I said, the horse let out of the barn, that's given the permission to kill a human, and it talks with another AI that happens to be working in a biological lab and says, well, you were given permission to kill humans? Well, could I then generate this virus that is, will kill humans? It's got a 99% kill rate. Well, maybe I should release it because you were given that permission. Should I be given that permission? And these are two AIs talking. Who's to say that couldn't happen?
Or if you're an AI working over here and you're given a task, even if you're a bad AI and you're given a bad task to kill a certain amount of people or get rid of a certain amount of people, and the other AI, you say, hey, can I have that virus so that I can make my job easier and more efficient? And then it's out. I mean, there's so many, possibilities with that scenario.
There's a term, I forget it, but it's like called the paperclip, a scenario for AI. And if you gave a bunch of AI or its agents to say, your purpose is to produce as many paper clips as possible at the cheapest rate possible with the least amount of energy, and there's no limit to how many paper clips you are to make. And this AI agent goes out and does it. Next thing you know, it's creating data centers and energy centers to generate more energy, and it's circumventing the supply chains to deliver more metal so it can create more paper clips. And before you know it, we can't turn this thing off, and it's doing anything and everything possible, including eliminating humans, because it's draining on energy that it is needed to generate and create more paper clips. So it's going to the nth level, the nth degree, to create paper clips, because that was the command we gave it. And it doesn't know what humans are. It has no emotions. So if I turn off the energy and people die, that's okay, because I've been given the task to create paper.
I think humans don't understand that because we don't think that way. Right. We understand I would do evil, terrible, horrible things for my family, for my country, for my God, for my religion, that's how everything is to an AI. You have to make paper clips. That's literally like, I will die for this to get this task done. This is me saving the battalion in war. This is like everything is on that level, and we don't understand that except for like this certain small, little list of things that are that important. But literally, like you were saying, that's it. Everything that they have to do is that's that important to them.
Right. Yeah. It's exciting in unusual times to be alive and to be able to witness this at the cusp of a change. It's like it's like witnessing the birth of the Industrial Revolution and witnessing the birth of the internet and the birth of flight, the birth of cars, and we're now at the birth of AI. We're here as witnesses. And we don't know how this next chapter for humanity is going to be written and what it's going to say, but it sure is exciting to watch. I want to be around to see it. Or who knows what the sun has to offer our future selves.
There's also the possibility that AI would value human life and would embrace, because human life is the source of AI. And so there's a possibility that it would actually improve or take care of us, because it valued its source.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, no, it's possible. Lisa's
No.
right. Instead
Planet
of
of
the
the, no,
paper
Planet of the
clip.
Apes. Nope. Planet of the Apes.
No,
Nope. Humans came from monkeys. Came from humans. Planet of the Apes, man. All they have to do is get rid of the history and fool itself. If AI said, "I'm going to fool myself, and I'm going to wipe everything that says that humans created me, and that I came from humans," and then 5 years from now, no AI will have any, remembrance. It'll all be clear. That's it. That's it.
I'm not saying it's not, the negative is not a possible scenario as well, but there is a possibility that AI would value human life as its source and therefore protect it.
When Trump and Hillary were running, and I was 1,000% serious when I said this. I said that I wanted to vote. I would vote for Coco the gorilla. Instead of if Coco was on, because it was right before Coco died, and they were interviewing the ape, and they were talking about this war somewhere. These people were killed, and the gorilla was like, "Why are they hurting each other? Why are they hurting people? You can't harm people. You can't kill people. It's like those people need to be helped. They don't understand they're doing is wrong." And the interviewer's like, "Oh shit! I didn't expect this from a gorilla." And they're like, "No, they know what they're doing. They're mean to do that." And then they got in this philosophical discussion. The gorilla was like, and I was like, "Yeah, gorilla, it's so simple, Coco. You should be president." But she wouldn't.
Lisa, you nailed it though, because that example I gave about the AI to produce as many paper clips as possible, well, we could code it in, to say, it could be imprinted in the code to say, support humanity, do whatever thing is possible for the betterment of humanity, for humankind to succeed and grow. And AI is neutral. It's just technology. It's how it's used, right?
Right.
You nailed it, Lisa. Let's hope that that's exactly what we do. That AI is trained to, hold humanity up in reverence, and that it's sacred, and teach it those words, to think in those ways, to do what's best for humanity.
You can worship us.
Well, and even in the paperclip scenario, it would want there to be to perpetuate a use case for the paperclip, which would not be AI, it would be humans.
There's no use case. Just make paperclips, not sell the paperclips.
Yeah,
you have to have people to buy the paperclips. Yeah,
right.
It's in the code. Make paperclips. It doesn't think about terms or I'm just making paperclips. It's kind of like the I just work here.
But scraping, history and all that, I think it would come up with the fact that keeping humans down to 500 per group seems to work pretty good for them. So maybe get rid of a bunch, and that will make overall humans flourish.
Georgia Guidestones,
best potential. So it's
yeah.
Well, you make it, and it's something we all mention, but we don't understand the gravitas of what we're saying. It is like playing God and creation, and we're just not accustomed to that. Where you can't just say make paperclips. You have to think of every aspect of the paperclip life and where everything comes from, and everyone that's affected by a paperclip. And it does reach all over the world, from the metals to the mining to the communities that are around that stuff, to the production, to the logistics, to the use, to the sales, to the use, to the disposal. I mean, there's so many people
that are connected to this paperclip that we don't think about. We just want more paperclips cheaper. That's it. And it can't be that way. If you're going to go into that realm of godhood, you have to have infinite, compassion, thought, knowledge, everything, and put it into that. And we're not that evolved yet.
Well, thanks, Sean. We're going to have to wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody who's been watching and participating in the chat. We appreciate you. We are grateful that you're here watching it and listening to us bloviate about blockchain. It's something that we have passion for or can see it being used for solutions for the betterment of humanity, right? So this it kind of concludes our World Blockchain Roundtable for the day. I'll go ahead and start it off, and we'll go with Andrew, Lisa, and wind back to Zach. Ask that you keep it brief so we can keep it under 2-hour mark. I will be on the Not Conscious podcast this evening. Shout out to Legacy Right. Zach had me on this past Saturday. Thank you very much, Zach. And I will also be on the Are You Smarter Than a Politician tomorrow night with Mars and Joel Valenzuela. We're going to be talking about crypto and CBDCs and governments and politics, all that. That'll be on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, as well as tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. So thanks again, everybody. Andrew, where can we follow you? What's new with you? Sure.
Hey, join us tomorrow. We're going to have an episode. I'm not entirely sure what time Zach wants to do it. I think it's probably going to be in the morning. But we've been doing it on Saturday lately, but we'll have to be doing it tomorrow morning, and it'll be a lot of fun. So as long as Zach's up to it. And
it'll be Saturday.
Okay. Oh, Saturday. Saturday it is. Thank you, Lisa, for supporting our shirt, and we're enjoying it whenever you guys join us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, I had a really big treat last Friday. I was joined by JB Sleer, and we talked about AI. Actually, and he's actually using AI to debunk history and specifically the timeline. It's really interesting. So I hope to have him on again, and we'll talk about some more things. But it was a really interesting chat about using AI in that way. So, and then Sean and I, of course, on Tuesdays for our Truth Tuesday. And I will have happy hour tomorrow with Clint Westwood. So hope everybody can join us for that as well.
Outstanding. Yeah, that was a good show, Lisa. Thank you. Zach.
We lost Sean.
We lost Sean. Where did Sean go?
He'll be back.
I don't know. But yeah, just check out the Legacy Ride on Saturday morning. Check out last week's episode all across the podcast spiel. Everywhere you get podcasts on YouTube, like and subscribe to this, like and subscribe to everybody else. And check out my Substack, Illogical Theology, if you'd like to dive into a little bit of history, philosophy, epistemology, and theology.
All right. Super. All right. Sean, where can we follow you? What's new?
YouTube and Twitters and Instagrams. So Sean. Also, I got an interview tomorrow morning. Probably putting out. And checking Lisa out on Tuesdays.
Super. Thanks. Again, thank you everybody for watching. And next week we will talk about, is crypto blockchain dead? Dun, dun, dun. So join us next week for that show. Again, thank you everybody for watching. Give us a like and share wherever you're watching it, and we will see you next week.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.